My name is Anna. I am 32 years old. My life was normal. I had a job, a home, and a husband I loved. We were together for 8 years. I thought we were happy, but I was wrong. One evening, I was making dinner. I waited for my husband, Daniel, to come home. He was late. He was always late these days. I felt something was wrong, but I didn't want to believe it. When he finally came home, his face looked serious. He didn't kiss me. He didn't smile. He sat down at the table and looked at me. "We need to talk," he said. My hands started to shake. My heart beat fast. I put the spoon down. My hands were cold. My heart was beating too fast. "What is it?" I asked. Daniel looked down. He didn't want to meet my eyes. "I don't love you anymore," he said. His voice was quiet, but his words were loud in my head. I felt like the floor disappeared under me. My chest hurt. My throat was dry. "What?" I whispered. "I'm sorry, Anna," he said. "I didn't want to hurt you." I stared at him. My husband. The man I loved. The man I trusted. And now he was breaking my heart. I wanted to ask why. Why? What did I do? How can you stop loving me? But no words came out. "I met someone else," he continued. "It wasn't planned. It just happened." Tears filled my eyes. My hands turned into fists. It just happened? No. Love doesn't just happen. Betrayal doesn't just happen. I stood up. I couldn't sit there anymore. "So what now?" I asked. My voice was shaking. Daniel sighed. "I'm leaving." And just like that, my world fell apart. Daniel packed his bags. I sat on the couch, watching him. My face was wet with tears, but I didn't wipe them. He took his clothes, his books, his watch. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw his things out of the window. I wanted to beg him to stay. But I did nothing. He stood by the door. "I'm really sorry," he said again. I didn't answer. He sighed. Then he opened the door and left. I sat there, frozen. I heard his car drive away. I heard the silence in the house. Then I broke. I cried. I cried so hard that my whole body hurt. I hugged my knees and rocked back and forth. My heart felt too heavy. My chest felt too tight. I cried until my head hurt. Until my throat burned. Until I had no more tears left. And then I sat in the dark. Alone. The next morning, I woke up and forgot for a second. I reached for Daniel's side of the bed. It was empty. And then I remembered. Pain hit me again like a knife in my chest. I got up. I walked around the house. His things were gone. His smell was gone. But his ghost was everywhere. His empty chair at the table. His coffee mug in the sink. His slippers near the door. Everywhere I looked, I saw him. But he wasn't there. I went to the bathroom and looked in the mirror. My face was pale. My eyes were red. I didn't look like myself. I touched my ring. I couldn't take it off. Not yet. I was alone. The days after that were the hardest. I stopped eating. Food had no taste. I stopped sleeping. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw him. At work, I pretended to be fine. I smiled at my coworkers. I answered emails. But inside, I was broken. People told me, "You will be okay." But I didn't believe them. Nights were the worst. The bed was too big. The silence was too loud. I held my pillow and cried myself to sleep. Sometimes, I picked up my phone and wanted to text him. But I didn't. Because I knew he was with her now. One day, I went to the store. I walked past a coffee shop. And then I saw him. Daniel. He was sitting at a table with a woman. She was young. Beautiful. She laughed at something he said. He looked happy. My stomach dropped. My hands felt cold. I wanted to run. I wanted to scream. But I just stood there, watching. Then he looked up. Our eyes met for a second. I saw something in his face. Shock. Guilt. Pity. I didn't wait to find out. I turned around and walked away. Tears burned in my eyes. But I didn't cry. Not this time. I walked fast. Then I ran. I ran until my legs hurt, until my heart felt like it would explode. When I got home, I locked the door. I sat on the floor. And finally, I cried. But this time, the tears felt different. Because I knew Daniel was gone. And I had to move on. The next morning, I took off my wedding ring. I made myself breakfast. I drank coffee. I sat by the window and watched the sunrise. It still hurt. It would hurt for a long time. But I wasn't going to let this pain destroy me. One day, I would be happy again. One day, I would wake up and not think of him first. One day, I would love again. But today? Today, I would survive. Thank you for listening to the story. Life is full of difficult moments. But every ending is also a new beginning. No matter how hard the pain is, time will heal. And new happiness will come. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more emotional stories. Your support means so much. See you in the next story.